Well, guys, if we got some very sad news to kind of discuss and talk about today, and that would be, well, if you've been on the internet at all within the past week or two, then odds are pretty high that you've heard of the whole disappearance of Daniel Desmond Amofah, or better known as online Etika. Now, this disappearance happened pretty recently, and came along with the video that was his final goodbye video that was posted to YouTube. And since it was talking about a controversial subject such as suicide, it was ultimately removed from the channel, or at least we're not able to see it on his main channel. But by the time they got to it, it had already been re-downloaded by a whole bunch of other smaller people, smaller YouTubers, or just individuals, and re-uploaded already many times. You'll be able to find it plenty on YouTube for just Etika saying "I'm sorry," and it's a very heartbreaking video. Uh, and this morning, the NYPD, the New York Police Department, tweeted out that they have confirmed that Etika has been confirmed as dead. He has passed. They found his items, his belongings at a bridge, and after that, they couldn't just find him, but they got some reports of finding or seeing a dead body floating in the water. And when they went to investigate, it took a few days, but they finally did confirm that yes, it was Desmond Amofah Etika, and he died at the age of 29. Born on May 12th, 1990, he is counting as passed on June 19th, 2019. So he had just celebrated his 29th birthday, and yeah, it's very surreal to kind of see this happen because I'm not too far behind. I'm in my mid 20s right now, and to see someone that's just a few years older than me, like 4 or 5 or even 6 years older than me, I'm just to see someone that's a few years older than me is very surreal. And to know that he committed suicide, that's even more so. It's makes you really wonder about your mortality, I guess you could say, but it's very surreal. Now, the last video that he did upload that got re-uploaded a few times already, I've seen it, and it is just, now knowing the outcome. Before, people were saying, "Don't do this, man. You don't have to do this. If you're out there, please do not do this. It's not worth it. Just get some help and you will have support." But now that it's all said and done, and looking back at it now, seeing how he talked and all these like things he was saying, it was very just heartbreaking. And it it's not even just surreal. Just knowing the outcome of what happened makes you just sit there and dread, because you know what it's all leading to. How he's just saying sorry to all these people. How he's just saying things such as uh, social media can really screw you up. It could really like mess you up and everything like that. And it's, yeah, he said that, and he also said that ultimately he made the decision not to get help, and how he was sinking in a hole so fast that he didn't even realize he needed help. And he was saying how hopefully that the world will be better off without them, he said, and that we'll all move on, technology, all these games. And he was laughing, saying, "I won't even get to see the end of Attack on Titan. I won't get to see how it ends." And somebody was just saying that they heard that, they were just heartbroken. It really struck them. And it's very, like, I'm not even a decade younger than this guy, and just he was just talking and just letting it all out there. And now to know the outcome, it's it's I have no words for it. This guy wasn't the biggest influencer in my life, but he was definitely a pretty cool guy to sit down and watch. He was a streamer, he was a content creator. He uploaded a lot of stuff to do with Nintendo. Like, I remember one of the videos that I seen that he made is uh basically a thick mod for Smash Brothers, I think, on the Switch, and that was pretty funny. That was pretty entertaining. But over the last like 6 or 7 months, he has noticeably been getting like visually unstable. It's visually clear that something's been going on, that it's been on his mind or been weighing on him, and he's been getting into a lot of trouble, and he's been just sounding very, very different, very just off. Of course, I know that people that were closer to him probably noticed this, and he did say how they kept telling him, dude, you gotta get some help, and they kept trying to reach out to him, but he just kept saying no. And if there is a lesson to learn from this, like he says there should be, let that lesson be never underestimate mental health. Do not underestimate mental health. If you feel like there's a mental health problem going on with you, or if you feel like somebody else that you know and care about has a mental health problem going on with them, then please, for the love of God, for the love of everything holy on this earth, for the love of just that person in general, help them out. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't realize it. Sometimes you just don't feel like it's worth getting the help or that you're not worth helping. But it is needed. If you need help, take it. Reach out and find that help. There are plenty of sources. There are plenty of resources to use for this mental help. It's not something to underestimate. It is not something you just sweep under the rug. Mental help is important. Mental health is important. We need these things to be stable. We need these things in order to know that we're okay. Suicide is just so the end all be all. I don't even know how to follow that up. Just suicide is serious. It's not just a thing that people deal with. It's a load that people bear. It's a weight that they can't get off their shoulders. It's something that it oppresses you from the inside. Sometimes it oppresses you from the inside out. Other times people are able to keep it inside and not let anyone know it. And those moments are truly the scariest ones because you don't know what could happen. With this man right here, just look at his final words that are known to the world. All he was saying was sorry. All he was saying how he wished he could have done better. Throughout the whole of the video, I watched 2 versions of it. Throughout all of them, I just kept thinking that it's not too late. It didn't have to be too late. This tainted legacy he kept talking about, it didn't have to stay tainted. He could have made a better change. He could have made something that made himself better, a better person, but sometimes when you fall too far into the abyss, you really can't see any way to pull yourself out. And that's what really drags people down. When they start to slip in, and they don't realize how far they are slipping in. And then they start to fall. And then it starts to pull them. And then they can't escape. Mental health needs to be taken care of. Mental health is health. He kept saying how people will learn from it, that hopefully people will learn from his story. And as people of the internet, we can be pretty messed up. We could be pretty effed up. But we can also cause great things to happen. So, Squatchkin or not, just person, viewer watching this, someone who has a heart, someone who cares, a lesson we should learn. Same thing I've been saying this whole time. Mental health is no joke. If you need help, don't be afraid to reach out and take it. It's worth getting help if it means saving a life. Losing a life is too big a cost to pay. And if you know somebody that could use help, help them. because odds are they're thinking how they don't deserve it. Odds are they're thinking how they don't want to try and reach out because they feel like they'll be a bother. Mental help. It's not talked about enough because of YouTube's community guidelines. And I'm not trying to demonize YouTube because they did delete the video. All I'm saying is that if it weren't for the people, his fans, that would re-upload his videos, then odds are a lot of us would not be seeing and watching his I'm sorry video. And that's a shame. It's so surreal to see someone that's just 5 years older than me commit suicide. He was successful. He was a streamer, a YouTuber. He was a former model. This guy led a successful life. And his final video, the final words that the public will ever hear from him, that will ever know, are I'm sorry. That's how he ends the video. And that's all we'll ever hear in his voice. Don't take it lightly. He said he left behind a tainted legacy. That doesn't mean it has to stay that way. He was a good content creator. And I have no doubts that he could have been a great man too. I don't know anything about his personal life. I'm sure he had his ups and downs. But that doesn't change the fact that he did have an effect on a lot of people. I know when I moved to the place that I'm living in currently, when I was unpacking, I was looking for something entertaining, something funny, something cool, something interesting to watch, and I remember this one creator that I thought was pretty cool to watch, and it was the Etika News Network, or Etika. So I turned that on and I was watching it while I was unpacking, and I enjoyed every moment of it. Him with the Joy-Con boys, and when they almost got when they were doing a stream, and apparently they almost got arrested because somebody decided it was going to be funny to SWAT a McDonald's that they were eating at. Yeah, they were a crew, and he was pretty beloved on the internet. Even though he would have his outbursts, you can't deny that he was very beloved on the internet. So let's try to do our best to take to heart about some lesson, something he wanted to leave behind. And let's try our best to make sure that the legacy he leaves behind is one that's caring, one that's open to new opportunities, open to new experiences, and let's not forget him. He wasn't the biggest influence in my life, but even I know that he's somebody worth remembering. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. Appreciate it, and Etika, or not even just Etika, just Daniel Desmond Amofah. Former model, content creator, streamer, entertainer. We're sorry that you had to go through what you went through. Your suicidal thoughts and mental health issues. I would not wish any of this to happen to anybody on this planet. You will be missed. Thank you for the fun memories. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Hope you go forward carrying his memory in good light, or good thoughts, or just a good legacy. I am Pump Squatch. You have a good one. Goodbye.